After graduation, Victoria felt a sense of relief. She had worked hard, overcome challenges, and now she was ready to face the world. She and Dennis grew closer, their love blossoming with each passing day. However, Bella was far from giving up. Even after the graduation ceremony, Bella stayed bitter and jealous. She couldn't stand seeing Victoria happy and confident. It burned her even more that Dennis, the boy she had desperately wanted, only had eyes for Victoria. One day Bella called Dennis. She had somehow gotten his number. "Dennis, it's me, Bella," she said sweetly. Dennis frowned, recognizing her voice. "What do you want, Bella?" "Why are you so harsh with me?" she asked, pretending to sound hurt. "I just want to be friends. We could hang out. You know I've always liked you." Dennis sighed. "Bella, stop this nonsense. I'm not interested in you. You need to move on." Bella's sweet tone vanished. "Oh, so it's all about Victoria, huh? That ugly witch has bewitched you." "Don't you dare call her that," Dennis snapped, his voice firm. "If you ever insult Victoria again, you will regret it, and stop calling me." Bella hung up the phone, fuming. Her friends, who were sitting nearby, watched her in silence. Bella slammed her hand on the table, making them jump. "I hate her," Bella screamed. "I hate that ugly girl. She stole Dennis from me, and now she's walking around showing her face like she's some queen. I'll make her regret ever taking off that cover." One of her friends hesitated, then asked, "Bella, don't you think you're taking this too far? We're done with school now. Why don't you just move on?" "Move on?" Bella yelled. "Never. I'll do anything to make Dennis hate her. I will make her life miserable. She'll wish she never uncovered her face." Bella spent days plotting. She spied on Victoria and Dennis, trying to find a way to separate them. One evening she overheard them laughing at a small cafe in town. They were sitting close, sharing a meal, and Dennis was looking at Victoria with so much love that it made Bella sick to her stomach. "How disgusting," Bella muttered to herself. She stormed off, her mind racing with plans. The next day, Bella approached one of Dennis's old classmates, a girl named Grace. Grace had always been quiet in school, but Bella knew she could use her. She leaned close and whispered, "I need you to do something for me." Grace looked nervous. "What is it?" Bella smiled slyly. "I need you to spread some rumors about Victoria. Tell people she used her parents' money to bribe her way through school. Make them believe she's not as smart as she pretends to be. Also tell them she is a witch." Grace hesitated. "But Bella, that's not true." Bella looked at her. "Do you want me to make your life miserable? Just do it." Grace nodded reluctantly, and Bella smirked. Her plan was in motion. The rumors spread quickly. Everywhere Victoria went, people whispered behind her back. Some even questioned her achievements. "Do you think it's true?" someone asked. "I don't know," another replied. "Her family is rich. Maybe she did buy her way through school." Victoria noticed the stares and whispers, but chose to ignore them. She told Dennis about it, and he was furious. "Don't let them get to you," Dennis said. "They are just jealous because you're brilliant and beautiful." Victoria smiled, but deep down she was hurt. She thought about her mother's words, how she couldn't run and hide anymore. Meanwhile, Bella was still plotting. She wasn't satisfied with just spreading rumors. She wanted to humiliate Victoria in front of everyone. One day she told her friends, "I will ruin her reputation. Just wait and see." Bella's hatred burned like a fire. Bella couldn't stand seeing Victoria and Dennis happy together. When the rumors she spread about Victoria didn't work, she grew more desperate. She was determined to destroy their relationship once and for all. This time, she decided to set Dennis up, and she knew just the person to help her, Grace. Grace was reluctant at first, but Bella had a way of convincing people to do her bidding. She offered Grace a hefty sum of money. "Just do as I say, and you will never have to worry about anything again," Bella promised. Grace hesitated but eventually agreed. She felt trapped by Bella's manipulative words. The next day, Grace approached Dennis casually at a friend's party. "Hey, Dennis," she said, smiling warmly. Dennis nodded. "Hi, Grace, how's it going?" "Good," she replied. "I was just thinking, we've known each other for a while but never really hung out. Would you like to come over to my place? Just as friends." Dennis thought nothing of it. Grace had always seemed quiet and harmless. "Sure, why not?" he said. Later that evening, Dennis arrived at Grace's house. She had prepared snacks and drinks, pretending it was just a friendly hangout. Dennis relaxed, enjoying the conversation, but what he didn't know was that Grace had spiked his drink. After a while, Dennis began to feel drowsy. "I think I need to lie down," he said, his voice heavy with sleep. Grace quickly helped him to the couch, and as soon as he fell asleep, she began her plan. She staged the scene carefully, making it look like they had been intimate. Then she took pictures of Dennis and sent them to Bella. Bella grinned wickedly when she received the photos. "Perfect," she whispered to herself. Without wasting time, she forwarded the pictures to Victoria with a short message. "This is the man you love. Look at him now. He's just like every other guy." When Victoria saw the pictures, her heart shattered. She couldn't believe her eyes. Tears streamed down her face as she stared at her phone. "Why would Dennis do this to me?" she cried, clutching her chest. Dennis woke up at Grace's house feeling groggy. "What happened?" he asked, looking around in confusion. Grace pretended to be concerned. "You were so tired, you fell asleep. Don't worry, everything's fine." But Dennis felt uneasy. Something didn't feel right. He quickly left Grace's house, brushing off her attempts to keep him there. When Dennis got home, he tried calling Victoria, but she didn't answer. He called again and again, but still no response. Panicked, he decided to go to her house. When he arrived, Victoria refused to open the door. "Go away, Dennis," she shouted from inside. "Victoria, please, let me explain," Dennis pleaded. "There's nothing to explain," Victoria said, her voice breaking. "I saw the pictures. How could you do this to me?" Dennis was confused. "Pictures? What pictures? Victoria, please listen to me. Whatever you saw, it's not true." But Victoria didn't believe him. She was too hurt to listen. The next day, Grace called Dennis. Her voice was shaky. "Dennis, I'm so sorry," she began. "Sorry for what?" Dennis asked sharply. "I need to tell you the truth," Grace admitted. "Bella paid me to set you up. She wanted to ruin your relationship with Victoria." Dennis's anger flared. "You did what? How could you do that, Grace? I trusted you." "I know," Grace said, her voice trembling. "I'm so sorry. I'll tell Victoria everything. I will fix this." "It's too late," Dennis said coldly. "You have done enough damage. Our friendship is over. Don't ever contact me again." Dennis hung up and immediately tried to reach Victoria again, but she still wouldn't answer his calls. Heartbroken and frustrated, he sat alone, wondering how he could ever fix this mess. Meanwhile, Victoria was at home, struggling with her emotions. She loved Denise, but the pictures haunted her mind. Could she ever trust him again? Bella, on the other hand, was thrilled with her success. She laughed with satisfaction, thinking her plan had worked. Grace couldn't live with the guilt. She knew she had to make things right, so she called Victoria. Her hands were shaking as she dialed the number. When Victoria picked up, her voice was cold. "Grace, what do you want?" "I need to tell you something," Grace said, her voice trembling. "I'm so sorry for everything. Bella paid me to set Dennis up. She made me invite him over and drug him. Those pictures you saw, they were all fake. Dennis didn't do anything wrong." Victoria was silent for a moment, letting Grace's words sink in. "So Bella was behind all this?" she asked. "Yes," Grace admitted. "She hates you so much, and I was foolish enough to go along with her plan. I regret it, Victoria. I really do." Victoria let out a small laugh, but there was no humor in it. "Tell Bella she needs to try harder next time. Goodbye, Grace." Victoria hung up the phone and sat in silence for a while. Her heart ached, but she also felt a strange sense of relief. She now knew the truth. Dennis hadn't betrayed her. The next day, Dennis called her again. "Victoria, please, just let me explain," he began, his voice full of desperation. "You don't need to explain," Victoria said softly. "I know everything. Grace told me about Bella's plan." "You do?" Dennis asked, surprised. "Yes," Victoria replied, "and I have forgiven you." Dennis sighed in relief. "Thank you, baby. I promise I will never let anyone come between us again." A week later, Dennis invited Victoria to meet his parents. He was nervous but excited. "I want them to know the woman I love," he told her. Victoria smiled shyly. "Are you sure? What if they don't like me?" "They will love you," Dennis assured her. When they arrived at Dennis's family home, his mother greeted them warmly. "Oh, Dennis, is this her?" she asked with a wide smile. Yes, Mom, Dennis said proudly. This is Victoria. Dennis's mother immediately pulled Victoria into a hug. You're so beautiful. Dennis has told me so much about you. Victoria blushed. Thank you, Mom. It's nice to meet you. But Dennis's father was less welcoming. He frowned as he looked at Victoria. So you're the girl my son has been talking about, he said, his tone stiff. Yes, sir, Victoria replied politely. Dennis noticed his father's disapproval and pulled him aside later. Dad, what's the problem? Why are you being so cold to Victoria? His father sighed. Dennis, I thought you would marry the girl I chose for you, someone from a more influential, wealthy and respected family. Dad, Dennis said firmly, I love Victoria. She's smart, kind and everything I've ever wanted. I'm not marrying someone just because you chose them. This is my life. His father shook his head, but didn't say anything more. Dennis's mother, on the other hand, spent the rest of the evening chatting with Victoria. She was impressed by her intelligence and humility. You're perfect for my son, she said, squeezing Victoria's hand. When they left, Dennis turned to Victoria. Don't worry about my dad. He'll come around eventually. Victoria smiled, though she still felt nervous. I hope so. I don't want to cause any problems in your family. You won't, Dennis assured her. You are part of my family now. Meanwhile, Bella heard about Dennis introducing Victoria to his parents and was furious. She just won't go away, will she? Bella muttered to herself. Fine, if I can't ruin her relationship, I will ruin her reputation for good. When Victoria got home, she went straight to her mother's room. Her heart was heavy, and she needed someone to talk to. Mama, she began, sitting on the bed beside her mother. I met Dennis's parents today. Her mother looked up from the Bible she was reading and smiled. That's good, my dear. How did it go? Victoria sighed, her shoulders slumping. His mum was really nice. She liked me a lot. But, she hesitated, her voice trembling. But what? Her mother asked, her smile fading. His dad didn't like me, Victoria admitted, tears welling up in her eyes. He wanted Dennis to marry someone else, someone rich and from a big family. I'm afraid he'll convince Dennis to leave me. Her mother reached out and held Victoria's hand. Don't say that, my daughter. Dennis loves you. He chose you, not someone else. His father may not see it now, but he will come around, trust me. But what if he doesn't, Mama? Victoria asked, her voice breaking. I don't want to lose Dennis. I love him so much. Her mother wiped the tears from Victoria's cheeks and spoke softly. My child, love is strong. It can overcome even the biggest challenges. Dennis has already shown you that he's willing to stand by your side, and as for his father, I'll pray for him. God has a way of changing hearts, even the hardest ones. Please do, Mama, Victoria said, her voice filled with hope. Pray for me. Pray for us. I don't want to lose him. He means everything to me. Her mother smiled warmly. I will, my dear. But you must also pray. Ask God to guide you and Dennis. If this love is truly meant to be, nothing and no one can stop it. Victoria nodded. Thank you, Mama. I will keep praying. That night, as Victoria lay in bed, she thought about Dennis. She remembered how he had defended her, how he had chosen her despite everything. She clutched her pillow and whispered a prayer. God, please help me, she said. Help Dennis's father see me for who I really am. I don't want to cause trouble in their family. I just want to be happy with Dennis. Please make a way for us. Days later, Dennis's father decided to have lunch at a quiet restaurant in town. He had been thinking a lot about his son's relationship with Victoria. He still couldn't understand why Dennis had chosen her, and it troubled him. As he sat sipping his coffee, a young woman approached him. It was Bella. She had spotted him from across the room and immediately remembered him from their graduation ceremony. A sly smile crept across her face as a plan began to form in her mind. Good afternoon, sir, Bella said politely, standing beside his table. Dennis's father looked up, surprised. Good afternoon, young lady. Do I know you? Bella smiled sweetly. Not exactly, sir. My name is Grace. I'm, a friend of Dennis and Victoria from school. Hearing this, Dennis's father sat up straighter. Oh, really? A friend of my son and Victoria? Yes, sir, Bella lied smoothly. I was quite close to them during our university days. I've been meaning to reach out to you about something important, but I wasn't sure how. Dennis's father raised an eyebrow. Something important? What is it? Bella leaned closer, pretending to look concerned. Sir, I don't want to interfere, but I feel it's my duty to warn you about Victoria. She's dangerous. Dennis's father frowned. Dangerous? What do you mean? Bella sighed dramatically, as though what she was about to say pained her deeply. There's something you don't know about Victoria. Back in school, her beauty caused the death of someone. A boy. It was awful, sir. The boy died after seeing her face. She's cursed. Dennis's father's eyes widened in shock. What? A boy died because of her beauty? Yes, Bella continued, her voice low and serious. Everyone in school knew about it. That's why she always covered her face. But then your son, Dennis, he got close to her and, well, let's just say they became very intimate. That's why she doesn't cover her face anymore. But sir, there's more. Anyone who breaks up with her dies instantly. She's evil. Dennis's father stared at her, unable to believe what he was hearing. Are you sure about this? Bella nodded firmly. I wouldn't lie about something so serious. I'm only telling you this because I care about Dennis. He's a good person, and I don't want him to end up in danger. Please, sir, you have to make sure he stays far away from her. Dennis's father shook his head, still trying to process the information. Thank God I never accepted their relationship. I knew there was something strange about her. Now it all makes sense. Bella smiled inwardly, feeling proud of her performance. You're doing the right thing, sir. Just keep Dennis away from her, for his own safety. Dennis's father leaned back in his chair, his mind racing. What did you say your name was again? Bella hesitated for a moment before replying. Grace, sir. My name is Grace. Dennis's father nodded. Thank you for coming to me with this, Grace. I will make sure to handle it. Bella nodded, keeping her fake concerned look intact. You're welcome, sir. I just hope Dennis will be safe. With that, she left the restaurant, her heart racing with excitement. As she stepped outside, Bella laughed quietly to herself. Perfect, she whispered. Now Dennis's father will surely put an end to their relationship, and if he does, Victoria will go back to hiding her face. Let's see how she deals with this. Dennis's father arrived home that evening, his face clouded with anger. He slammed the door behind him, startling Dennis's mother, who was setting the table for dinner. What's wrong, dear? She asked, looking at him with concern. He threw his coat onto the couch and paced back and forth. What's wrong? Everything is wrong, he barked. This nonsense about Dennis and that girl, Victoria. I just found out something shocking. Dennis's mother stopped what she was doing and looked at him. What are you talking about? He turned to her, his face red with frustration. I went to a restaurant today, and I was approached by one of their school friends, someone named Grace. She told me the truth about Victoria. Grace? Dennis's mother asked, confused. What truth? She said Victoria is dangerous. She told me that Victoria's beauty killed someone in their school. A boy died just from looking at her face, and she said anyone who breaks up with her will die. She's cursed. Dennis's mother's eyes widened in shock. What? Who told you this? A stranger at a restaurant. And you believed her? Yes, I believed her, he snapped. It explains everything. Her beauty, her sparkling eyes, the mystery surrounding her. Can't you see it? She's not normal. She's dangerous. Dennis's mother shook her head, refusing to accept it. This doesn't make sense. Victoria is a sweet girl. She's polite, well-mannered, and brilliant. How can you just believe some random person without proof? Dennis's father raised his voice. Don't be naive, woman. Just look at her. No ordinary person looks that perfect. Grace even said that Victoria stopped covering her face because Dennis slept with her. That girl is pure trouble, and I won't let my son ruin his life with her. Dennis's mother stood her ground. And I think you're being unreasonable. You don't even know this Grace person. How can you trust her words so easily? Why didn't she say this sooner if it's true? And if Victoria is so dangerous, why didn't Dennis die when he got close to her? That doesn't matter, Dennis's father shouted. There are things you don't understand. I will do whatever it takes to protect my son, even if it means breaking their relationship myself. Dennis's mother's voice softened. If you love Dennis, you should let him decide who he wants to be with. Don't ruin his happiness because of some baseless rumor. He pointed a finger at her. I won't stand here and let you defend that girl. Dennis will marry someone I approve of, not someone who carries a curse. Dennis's mother sighed deeply, shaking her head. You're making a mistake. You will regret this if you push too hard. Dennis's father didn't reply. He stormed off to his study, slamming the door behind him. Dennis's mother sat down, her heart heavy with worry. She knew her husband loved their son, but his stubbornness was about to cause trouble for the entire family. Dennis came back home that evening, his mind still filled with everything that had happened. His mother was sitting in the living room, waiting for him. When he walked in, she immediately told him what she had heard. "Dennis," his mother began, "your father told me something. He met a girl there, and she told him something about Victoria. She said Victoria is dangerous, that any man who stays with her will die. I don't know how true it is, but your father is concerned." Dennis stared at his mother, his mind racing. "What's her name? Who told him all this?" "She said her name was Grace," his mother replied. Dennis felt a rush of anger. "Grace. I have had enough of her lies. I won't let her destroy everything. This time, I'm dealing with her for good." His mother looked at him with concern, but didn't say anything more. Dennis quickly took out his phone and dialed his police friend. "It's urgent," he said when his friend picked up. "I need you to arrest Grace. She's been blackmailing me, and I won't let her get away with it. Keep her in custody until I tell you otherwise." His friend agreed, and soon Grace was arrested. Dennis didn't want to take any chances. He didn't want Grace to hurt him and Victoria any more than she already had. When everything was settled, Dennis returned home. "I've dealt with it, Mum," he told her. "Grace won't be a problem anymore. She's a blackmailer, and she'll face the consequences." His mother gave him a small smile. "I'm glad you're taking control, Dennis." One afternoon, as Dennis and Victoria were walking hand in hand, laughing and enjoying each other's company, they passed a restaurant where Dennis' father was eating. The sight of them together made him furious. "So they're still together," he muttered to himself, clenching his fists in anger. "This girl is really a witch. She's the reason everything is falling apart in my life." He could feel his anger building. "My company is going down, and the more I think about it, the more I believe she's the cause." Dennis's father had made up his mind. He was going to do whatever it took to separate them. He would use his wealth to get rid of Victoria, even if it meant offering her money. He immediately made plans to invite Victoria over to his house. When she arrived, she was surprised to find that they were alone in the living room. She sat down, unsure of what to expect, thinking that maybe Dennis' father would finally have a kind word for her, but instead his tone was harsh. "I'll give you 50 million naira, Dennis' father said, his eyes cold. "If you agree to stay away from my son, I will give you the money. Leave him alone." Victoria looked him in the eye, unshaken. "Sir, my love for Dennis can't be bought with money. I will never leave him. No amount of money will change that." Dennis' father's face turned red with anger. He stood up, his voice rising. "Then be ready to join your ancestors. I don't want you in this family. I have a wife and my son will soon marry her. You're nothing but trouble." Victoria remained calm, even though his words stung. "I'm sorry, sir, I cannot do that." Just then, Dennis's father's phone rang. It was an important call from his company. The man who wanted to buy part of his business was on the line, asking if they were still going to go ahead with the sale. "Yes," Dennis's father answered quickly, trying to hide his frustration. "I need an hour to think about it." Victoria looked at him. "Excuse me, sir, did I hear you right? You want to sell part of your company?" Dennis's father was too angry to care. "Yes, I am. What's it to you?" Victoria looked him in the eye, a confident calmness in her voice. "Sir, don't sell your shares. The market is down now, but in a week it will skyrocket. Your business will do better than ever before. If you have the money, you can buy more goods now that they're cheap. Or you can borrow money to fill your warehouse. This is going to be the biggest sales in history." Dennis's father laughed mockingly. "You little girl, what do you know about business? You think you can tell me what to do with my company?" "Ridiculous." Victoria didn't back down. "Sir, please believe me. You don't have to take my word for it. Here's the deal. If it doesn't work out like I said, you can do whatever you want to me. But if it does, you will see how much profit you'll make." Dennis's father looked at her in disbelief. He had heard enough. "Okay, young woman, you can go now. I don't need your advice, and I certainly don't need you in my family. Just make sure you stay away from my son." Victoria stood up, her head held high, and left without saying another word. She knew she had done the right thing. Time would tell if Dennis's father would take her advice or not, but she was confident that she had given him the best chance to turn things around. After Victoria left Dennis's father's house, he couldn't stop thinking about what she had said. Could she be right? He stared out of the window, his mind racing with questions. The idea of her advice turning his business around seemed almost too good to be true. He scratched his head, unsure. Why do I believe this girl? Or has she bewitched me, he wondered. She better not have. If this doesn't work out, I'll deal with her myself. But despite his doubts, Dennis's father made the decision to follow through with her advice. He picked up the phone and called his company. Hold off on selling anything for the next 2 weeks, he instructed. Buy more goods, borrow money if you have to. Just do it. His manager hesitated, clearly surprised. Sir, business is bad. Are you sure about this? We can't keep spending money when things are this bad. Keep quiet and obey me, Dennis's father snapped, ending the call abruptly. He sat back in his chair, the weight of his decision settling in. I hope this works. If it doesn't, I'll make her pay for giving me false hope. A week passed and Dennis's father was on the edge of his seat, waiting for news. When he got the report from his manager, his eyes nearly popped out of his head. Sir, everything is sold out. We've made more profit than we ever imagined. This is incredible. He couldn't believe his ears. All of Victoria's advice had come true. His company had sold everything and profits were through the roof. He was filled with excitement and disbelief. How could this be? She was right, he muttered, still trying to process everything. He had doubted her, but now he couldn't deny that she had helped save his business. Overcome with happiness, he immediately picked up the phone and called Dennis. Son, come home right now, he said, his voice full of excitement. We need to fix the wedding date. I want you to marry Victoria as soon as possible. Dennis was shocked. He had never seen his father so happy, and he was even more surprised by the mention of fixing the wedding date. Dad, what are you saying? He asked. You want me to marry Victoria already? His father laughed, his face glowing with pride. Yes, Dennis, she is my special daughter-in-law. I knew there was something extraordinary about her, but everyone missed it. They said she was possessed, but they were wrong. She has a gift, she saved my company, and I owe her everything. Dennis stood still, processing his father's words. He had always known Victoria was special to him, but hearing his father speak so highly of her made him even more certain of his feelings. Wow, Dad, you're calling her your daughter-in-law already? His father nodded, still smiling. Of course. I know what I've seen. Now tell her to come over tomorrow. I want to see her and thank her properly. She deserves it. Dennis smiled, feeling the weight of the moment. It wasn't just his father's approval that mattered now. He knew he had found someone who truly understood him, someone who had changed his life for the better. The wedding date was set, and the news spread quickly. Everyone in town was talking about how Dennis and Victoria were finally getting married, and that included Bella. When she heard the news, rage boiled inside her. How are they still together? She muttered to herself, clenching her fists. I won't let this happen. I will make sure Victoria never makes it to that wedding. Determined to put an end to everything, Bella went to see a local prophet, known for her dark powers. The prophet's house was filled with strange, mysterious objects, incense burning, candles flickering in the dimly lit room. Bella told the prophet everything, how Victoria had ruined her life and how she had to be stopped. I want her dead. Can you do it? Bella demanded. The prophet looked at her with piercing eyes and shook her head slowly. No, I cannot, she said, her voice low and steady. Victoria's spirit is far too strong for anything I can do. She is protected by forces beyond your understanding. Bella's eyes narrowed with frustration. Then what do you suggest? She hissed. The prophet, calm but firm, repeated, It is impossible. There is no way to harm her. Let it go. Bella stormed out of the prophet's house, feeling more angry than ever. I won't give up that easily, she muttered as she walked away. If I can't get rid of her with magic, I will use something else. Her thoughts turned dark as she headed to an abandoned, unfinished building on the outskirts of town. Inside, a group of dangerous men waited, armed and ready. Bella had worked with them before, and they knew her well. She pulled out Victoria's photo from her purse and showed it to them. I need you to take care of her. I don't care how. Do whatever it takes. Just make sure she never sees her wedding day." The men stared at the photo, then without warning, they all started shaking violently. Their eyes went wide with terror as they screamed, "No, we can't do it. Her spirit, it's too powerful." Before Bella could react, the men suddenly went blind, their eyes turning completely white. They stumbled around, disoriented and screaming. Bella froze in fear, realizing too late that something far more dangerous was at play. Panic set in as the men shouted in horror, "We can't touch her! Get away from us!" In a flash of terror and confusion, Bella fled the building, running as fast as she could. Her mind was racing. "What is going on?" she thought, panic creeping into her heart. "Why is this happening? Why can't I stop her?" Back at home, Bella slammed the door shut behind her, trembling with anger. "I will not let them marry. Over my dead body, Victoria will not take what is mine," she hissed through clenched teeth. "I will find another way. I won't stop until she's gone." As Bella walked down the street, her mind was racing with thoughts of how to destroy Victoria and Dennis's happiness. She had already tried everything, and failure seemed to be her only companion. But she wasn't about to give up. She was determined to find a way, no matter the cost. Her journey to seek out another prophet took her down a busy road, and she was lost in her thoughts when suddenly a car came speeding down the street. The driver didn't see her in time. There was a loud screech of tires and then the impact. Bella was thrown to the ground, her body lifeless for a moment. The world around her spun as the darkness closed in. When Bella woke up, she was in a hospital room. Her body ached, her head throbbed, and the pain was unbearable. She opened her eyes slowly, blinking against the harsh hospital light. Her sister sat beside her, watching helplessly as Bella's face twisted in pain. After a few moments of silence, Bella gathered enough strength to speak. "I need to tell you something," Bella whispered, her voice weak but filled with regret. I am responsible for everything that has happened to Victoria and Dennis. I was the one who caused all the pain and trouble. I did everything to ruin their happiness." Her sister's eyes widened in shock. "Bella, what are you saying? What do you mean? I was the one behind everything. The lies, the manipulation. I couldn't stand seeing Victoria happy, seeing her with Denise. I thought if I could break them apart, I'd have a chance. But I was wrong," Bella said, tears flowing down her cheeks. "Now I've ruined everything. I'm so sorry, and I don't know how to fix it. Please, help me apologize. Help me make things right." Her sister was silent for a moment, trying to process Bella's words. "Bella, you have to tell them. You have to confess everything, or it'll never be right." I know, but I can't do it alone. Please, I need you to call them for me. Tell them I'm sorry. Tell them I was wrong," Bella pleaded. Her sister nodded slowly, heartbroken at seeing Bella like this. "Okay, Bella, I'll do it. But you need to promise me you'll change. You need to stop hurting people." "I will," Bella whispered, her eyes closing as exhaustion overtook her. "I just want them to forgive me. Please make it right." After a few hours, Bella's sister, with tears in her eyes, called Dennis and Victoria. She explained everything that had happened, revealing the truth behind Bella's actions, the jealousy, the manipulation, and the dark intentions. She begged for their forgiveness, saying that Bella was deeply sorry for the pain she had caused. Dennis and Victoria were shocked at the revelation, but they appreciated the honesty. They were still hurt by everything that had happened, but they understood that Bella's actions were driven by her own pain and jealousy. They agreed to forgive her, though they knew it would take time to heal the wounds. The next day, as Bella's condition worsened, she could feel the weight of her actions sinking in. She had confessed, and now there was nothing more she could do. Her sister stayed by her side, holding her hand as Bella's breathing slowed. "I'm so sorry," Bella whispered one last time before closing her eyes. Her sister cried, knowing that Bella's regrets had come too late, leaving behind the broken pieces of a life built on anger and envy. The next day, Grace was released from the police station. She had been wrongly imprisoned, and when she heard about Bella's death, she felt a strange sense of relief. Finally, the truth had come out. A month later, the long-awaited day arrived. Dennis and Victoria, stronger than ever, were married in a grand ceremony. The event was filled with joy and love, attended by many important people, men of timber and caliber. The couple exchanged vows, and as they sealed their promise to each other with a kiss, the crowd erupted in applause. Victoria's face glowed with happiness. It had been a long, difficult journey, but she had finally found peace. Dennis held her close, his love for her shining in his eyes. Together they had overcome all obstacles, and now nothing could tear them apart. As the celebration continued, the past seemed like a distant memory. Bella's anger, jealousy, and actions were forgotten, replaced by the joy of a new beginning. The couple's love had triumphed over all the darkness that had tried to break them, and as the night went on, they danced together, knowing that their love would last forever. And so their story came to a close, filled with lessons of love and forgiveness. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.